been 21 long years, but Arsenal have finally qualified for a European competition which they've got a chance of winning. A more worrying development for Arsenal is that Alexis Sanchez has been preparing for the FA Cup final by dressing up as an old man. But then again, traditional training methods haven't really been great for Arsenal this year. Perhaps a new approach will actually help them against Chelsea. Jose Mourinho had one of the shortest ever recorded press conferences in the history of the Premier League after the last game of the season. It came in at exactly 10 seconds. Literally a dream come true for Mourinho. He's been working them down and down from the first day of the season. He's always hated them and just tried to make them shorter and shorter. And this time, it was like the journalists gave him a gift. So he's one of the best managers of our time at one of the biggest clubs in the league, which is one of the best leagues in the world, after an awesome season, and he goes into the press conference and, ladies and gentlemen, not a single question. Let's do something this way round, shall we? I've done a Q&A and I've popped it on the end of this clip so that you can watch it straight away and not have to click more shit. You'll thank me later. It's happened. We all knew it would and we all hoped it wouldn't. But it has. 16-year-old English Portuguese Angel Gomes has made us all feel fucking old. The 16-year-old is the first player born in this millennium to play in the Premier League. He's the next big thing, apparently. But I guess that depends on which nationality he picks. Sam Allardyce has left Crystal Palace. He's cut and run. He's retired, apparently. Retiring all the way to China. It's been a long, hard season, especially for those who've battled so hard for their Champions League place. In fact, you'd assume that Tottenham and Liverpool have earned a nice, long, relaxing break with immediate effect. Tottenham are off to South Korea, that's particularly exciting right now, and Hong Kong, and Liverpool are off to Australia for end-of-season friendlies. Who gives a fuck about friendlies? I think it's the worst idea anyone's ever had, and on par with hiring David Moyes as technical director. Sorry. Stop bleeding the players dry. Now it's time to give them a break. Some say David Luiz is the most generous man in football. I would have used a different adjective after he bought every single one of his Chelsea teammates bracelets. I can't say it. Bracelets costing him over £1 million. They're smart bracelets though. They can open and start your car. The most genius part of the plan is the fact that these bracelets all look the same. So just imagine the changing rooms. You can just borrow someone's bracelet and go off in their car. Clever man. There were some very notable actions from players to mark the end of the season after Crystal Palace secured survival. Punchin and Zaha went down to the Palace supporters pub to thank the fans. Jesse Lingard followed suit when Man United's season was done and bought all the fans in the bar a drink. That's one way to get them to like you. Well, it definitely feels like the end. Zlatan, we're gonna miss you.
If it takes forever, I will wait for you for 1,000 summers. I will wait for you.
I'm done. Oh, I'm recording this whole time. That's a waste. Okay. So I said I'd do a Q&A because everyone's been asking me to do a Q&A, and the last time I did one I really hated it. It felt very uncomfortable. I don't know why people want to ask me questions. It doesn't make sense to me. But you guys want to ask me questions, so I thought I'll answer them. First question, Juve or Real? Real. I hope I don't have to explain any more on that. John Terry's 26th minute exit. Dickhead or Dickhead? And the guy's written, sorry darling, or Dickhead. Oh come on, he's a Chelsea legend. There's not many players who've come through the ranks and played their whole career at one club. He's just won the Premier League again with Chelsea. Let him come off in whatever minute he wants to come off. It's no big deal. Which team do you support? Crystal Palace. Who do you think is going to win the UEFA Champions / Europa League? UEFA Champions League, I'm going to go with Real. And can I just say, my guesses are usually pretty good. Someone pulled me up on my ESPN clips on, he's basically said I get everything wrong. He's been really shitty online. I get a lot of hate, but he was being really shitty about how I get everything completely wrong. You're always completely wrong. So I took the time to go back on my old clips, and out of the last 5, I only got 1 wrong. I think that's good stats. I'm proud of myself, and that's all that matters. Do you consider yourself a die-hard Latina? What part of Brazil are your family from? Have you heard my accent? I'm not a die-hard Latina. I'm definitely more Brazilian than I am English, but no, I'm incredibly British at the same time. I'm 50-50. What part of Brazil are you from? My family are from Belo Horizonte. Do you know it? Yeah, a lot of people ask, and I have no idea where anything is anyway. Do you hang your toilet paper over or under? That is a really serious question, and that actually tunes in quite well to me. I'm a little bit obsessive compulsive about quite a few things like that. My house, by the way, we're not filming in it right now. Oh yeah, a lot of people ask this question, where are you? I'm in like an abandoned rooftop on the top of my block of flats. My house is like white and minimal with nothing in it. I'm really, really clean and neat. And the toilet roll, obviously, always hangs over the front perfectly, always, because that is the way it was designed to be. There's no other option. Any other option is wrong. It was designed to be that way. And don't have your toilet roll so close to the wall that it rubs against it, because then the toilet paper is not even clean, okay? So there's not a do you do this or do you do that. It's do you do it right or do you do it wrong? If you want to be pedantic, check out the design for the original and the patent. You can find the design and the patent for the original first ever toilet roll, in which, my friends, it went over the front of the toilet roll. End of discussion. Thoughts on the huge rise of popularity in the Premier League in the US? Oh, aren't you lucky, America? For once you can watch some great football. And more generally, the adoption of UK fan culture. Not so great. Should I delve into that a little bit more? Are we going to be able to use any of my answers? Are you happy Big Sam has gone? Sure am, Matthew. How did you stay classy on that bus? Oh my gosh. So I did I was reporting for ESPN, and they asked me to go on the Brighton parade bus celebrating their entrance into the Premier League. I'm a Crystal Palace fan. I mentioned that to them. I did tell them, although I didn't want to not do the job, I reminded them that I was a Crystal Palace fan. They insisted that I went, and we made a great clip of the Brighton parade bus. It was alright. It's not the end of the world. I'm not like gonna hate on them or anything. It's good to have them in the Premier League. Now it's time for real competition. Fave ever Palace game? It's got to be the, this is all from the same Matthew Bennett. Yeah, so fave ever Palace game was our playoff finals. Who replaces Big Sam? Anyone else? I'm just celebrating that Sam is gone. As long as David Moyes doesn't come forward, we're good. Will you be going to the World Cup in Russia next year? That is a good question on so many levels. Would you? I want to ask, what's the most outrageous thing you've heard in football? The most outrageous thing is so outrageous, and I've signed so many non-disclosures that I quite literally can't tell you. The things we see. What made you go into covering football, and any advice to someone wanting to report or write in football? Keep up the good work. Thanks. Jamie. I started doing extreme sports, bike races, did the Olympics. That totally opened doors for me. I'm Brazilian, and my mum's Brazilian, so we sort of love football, and it's in the blood. I'm sure you've heard that before. So trying to get in and work with football was something I've kind of always wanted to do and never really thought about why, just wanted to be part of it. And advice for you, with the internet now, it's such a heck of a lot easier than when I started. Honestly, it's easier. Start a blog, have an opinion. Don't just write vague stuff. This is what bothers me in general, but women especially. Have an opinion. Don't just write, you know, standard media trained responses if you want to have your personality in it. Now, if you want to be a journalist, be unbiased, you know, like be unbiased, don't have your opinion on it. But now with the internet and personalities and all these sort of different things, people want to hear your opinion. If I just made clips saying this happened and you know, it was a game of two halves, then I don't think I'd be getting anywhere, and also I wouldn't find it fun. It depends. I mean, yeah, if you want to report on something properly and journalistically, be unbiased and do a good job. If you want to have fun, have an opinion. If you want to make it your work, work at it. The first time I heard, literally, of you was the voiceover of the Olympic opening ceremony in London. What are your memories from that event? Good question. I literally feel emotional every time I even think about it. It was a proper once-in-a-lifetime experience. Unbelievably honoured to be part of it. So for those of you who don't know, I was part of Danny Boyle's team. Famous director Danny Boyle asked me to be the voice and narration, alongside a male voice as well, of the Olympic opening ceremony, introducing Muhammad Ali. That was special because we had 80,000 people in the stadium as well, so when you say a name like that, you feel the rumble, you know, like really you feel 80,000 people in your bones. When the Queen parachuted out of the helicopter, and the third one, actually the third and fourth one, there's so many, was actually during rehearsals. There was one time, so we'd rehearse really late at night, sometimes 2, 3 in the morning, because they didn't want the press to get a hold of what the opening ceremony was going to be about, or to find anything out. And journalists were outside the stadium constantly recording with recording equipment stuff to find out what was happening. So we'd rehearse late at night because they wouldn't, you know, they wouldn't be around then. They gave up and went to bed. So one of my shifts, I started walking in with my friend Mark Edwards, who co-hosted with me. He was amazing. I started walking in, and I could hear Hey Jude playing, and every night there was music playing. They'd actually play music quite often to mask stuff in the surroundings as well. And I could hear it, and then I could listening to it, we're just chatting, and then I went, hang on a minute, that's not a recording. Literally, the hairs on my arms stood on end. I said, dude, that's live. And we started to run. It's all complicated, you gotta have security checks galore. And I got in there, looked up, it was 2 AM, an empty stadium, not a soul except for me, Mark, and Paul McCartney and his band. I was literally, what, 5 meters away from the guy, rehearsing Hey Jude, singing his whole set. Proper incredible moment. Won't ever forget that. Layla, how did you fall in love with football? Watching my mum watching football. She's the most emotional woman. Crying, laughing, screaming at the television. She's Brazilian. Watching her emotional journey of 90 minutes made me passionate about the game. Next time you're at Selhurst Park, can I say hello to you, please? Yes! Yes! I love it when people say hello to me. Please don't be shy. You notice people sometimes take pictures from a distance and being a bit weirded out. It's cool. Unless I look really angry, and eating or running away, come say hey. Are you a Chelsea fan? No, I've just been reporting a lot on and with Chelsea, because when you're a winner, you get to talk to me. They've been winning and doing really well. Therefore, you know, all the different places that I work and report for are sending me there. That's how it works. Let me think of some of the questions that I get asked a lot. Can you go back to the kitchen? Will you make me a sandwich? What the fuck, you don't know about football, you're a girl. Do I need to answer those too? That is the internet. I get stuff like that quite a lot, but I find it quite funny. It's nothing new. Actually, I should be more grateful. I don't get that a lot, because I know people who get it all 10 million times more than me. I had it a lot recently because I started a show for ESPN called Am I Wrong? And when you name a show, Am I Wrong? What do you expect in return? It's fine. Tell me I'm wrong anytime. I think I'm done. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Maybe we'll do another one of these soon. Send me cool questions and we'll talk more.